The question is, what does it mean to live so that we are living deeply awake to the sacred around us, within us, among us? What does that mean in our ordinary lives? Sometimes we think of that kind of living as a contemplative life, and the people who practice it as contemplatives. Well, actually we are all contemplatives. We are born and created to be contemplative. We're created to be awake and aware in a deep way to what is real in the world. Sometimes we think of it as a contemplative practice, something that's special. And that is true. Practices can help us deepen our awareness, create us to become more alive in our ordinary moments. Prayerful practices, meditation practices. And sometimes people think of it as living prayerfully, full of prayer. There's a difference between a prayer, which has a beginning and an end, where we say Amen at the end, and living prayerfully. I think that Simone Weil said it well when she said, prayer is paying attention. It's living in expectancy and awareness of that which is around us. Or Roberta Bondi said, a lot of prayer is just showing up. And that's what we want to do. We want to show up. We want to be alive and awake to our own lives. One of my favorite quotations is, prayerfulness is taking a long, loving look at the real. And that's what I think we're really invited to do. And I see that there are 4 parts to this long, loving look. The first part is the pause, the simply stopping. We may stop our activity, we may simply stop our mental rambling or problem solving. Certainly the stopping part is part of much spiritual tradition. The Benedictines stop every 3 hours. In the Islamic tradition, the call to prayer comes 5 times a day. So stopping and pausing is a big part. And what happens when we truly pause? We become more attentive to what's around us. We see, we hear, we smell, we become aware of feelings. And in that attentiveness is a waking up to what is real. And when we wake up, I truly believe that we notice our connections, our relationship to all that is. The invitation is there to wake up to how we are related to everything, and how we are related to the one who created all. I believe that there is a way of saying the waking up and the being aware of the relationship that comes from the book of Isaiah, in which Isaiah says, speaking God's message, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? It's the perceiving that we're invited to do, to behold and perceive. The last part is that when we behold and we perceive, and there is a relationship there, that we are connected to all, we're awakened to more loving. We find love rising within us. And in that love, we may be aware of pain and feel compassion. In that love, we may be aware of joy and feel gladness. But there is a basis of love that becomes the merging of all that is in our contemplative living. I've got a story. One time, I was sitting on my deck shelling beans. I've been shelling beans for quite a while because my garden had produced a lot. My hands were busy. My mind was busy too. I was pondering what I was going to do tomorrow and what I was going to say to my husband when he came home. And then all of a sudden, I paused. Not my hands, but my mind and my thoughts. Because I noticed there was a sunset a beautiful orange and gold and red sunset spreading across the sky. And in that moment, eventually, as I paused and paid attention to the sunset, my hand stopped and my mind stopped, and I became aware of how I was connected to everything that I could see. I was a part of the relationship, a part of the creation. And I found welling up in me a sense of deep love for all that is. That is the invitation of living awake and aware to the sacred, to the presence. We are invited to return again and again to a place where we pause, we pay attention, we become aware of our relationship, our interconnectedness, and we allow love to rise within us.